So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another rebuild here in the Lebron era, and today it's going to be the Toronto Raptors. This Raptors team, just by looking at the roster, kind of my gut reaction is that we're not very good. We have a second-year DeMar DeRozan who is clearly going to be a building block for us. Kyle Lowry's in the league. Unfortunately, they hadn't actually made the trade for him yet, so he is not here. And then Andrea Bargnani, who you will see in just a moment, is the highest overall on our team. Former number one overall pick. So yeah, there's got some work to be done here today. Our goal is to obviously win a championship within 3 years. And with how good the Eastern Conference is in this rebuild, is going to be a tough one. This was a request on my Golden State Warriors LeBron era rebuild, and it came from Juffy11, JFee11. My apologies, I'm terrible with names. I'm even worse with usernames on everything. So yeah, thank you for the idea, man. Of course, you guys have any other video ideas, let me know down below in the comment section. We're just over about halfway through the LeBron era rebuilds. I know some of you were asking me to go to the previous eras before this as well, which we will definitely do. So if you have anything you want to see from those, make sure to let me know. But this is going to be fun today, man. This might be one of our hardest rebuilds in the LeBron era yet. Let's get into it. As I kind of mentioned in the intro, this roster is not necessarily extremely talented, and there's really not a lot on it that gets me super excited. So I guess let's just go through it position by position. Now, here at the point guard spot, we have two serviceable NBA point guards that I think both had decently long careers in Jose Calderon and Jarrett Jack. So this is definitely not the weakest position on the team. I can definitely work with this. Now, are either of these guys going to be a starter on a championship team? That is still up in the air, and my gut reaction is probably no, but it is definitely nice to have somebody who is at least competent at the point guard position to kick off this video. Whole lot of shooting guard options here. DeMar DeRozan, as I mentioned, is going to be in the second year of his career right now, and we hope to develop him. I mean, that's kind of my main goal, especially for this first season. He's only 21 years old. He's obviously one of, I don't want to say like one of the best, he probably is one of the best Raptors of all time. Clearly was in that Kawhi Leonard trade, ended up resulting in a championship for Toronto, and yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the guy, but he was a very, very good Toronto Raptor. Unfortunately, LeBron just kind of ruined the Eastern Conference, and ruled, I guess, is a better word than ruined the Eastern Conference, but I meant like ruining other teams. You understand. Leandro Barbosa is here. Also a guy, long NBA career. He's 27 at this point. He's 77 overall. Definitely be a serviceable player for him. He's actually a guy I've signed out of free agency a couple times in these videos. Marcus Banks, probably not going to get a lot of playing time here. Could even be traded as he is on an expiring contract. And then Anthony Walker, Harry Richmond, Trey Warwick. There's no way these are real people. Small forward spot. I don't know. There's not really much to do there, clearly. I like all these options, right? Power forward spot, Reggie Evans is here at 31 years old and only a 76. Probably not going to be here the entire video. He might not even be here to start game one. We'll figure it out. Julian Wright is here. Probably not somebody who's going to be here for the entire video. I mean, again, I'm just kind of being honest with you guys. Tiny Scott, fucking awesome name. He's on a 5-year, $35 million contract. I love when 2K puts fake people into the game. Not only fake people, but then gives them insanely big contracts for no reason. If you're going to give me fake people and big contracts, make them higher overalls. I beg of you. Gerald Bradley on a 4-year, $20 million deal. And then finally, Wes Roberts, 62 overall. I'm sure I can get some value out of him. Okay, the center spot. Andrea Bargnani, who's technically the highest overall on this team. Former number one overall pick. Never really amounted to what you would maybe expect out of a number one overall pick, but here at an 84 overall, he's clearly going to be one of the better players we have to work with at this moment. So I'm not sure what his direction is going to kind of be throughout this video. He's only 25 years old, so there's a possibility maybe he stays and is a building block for me. There's also a possibility if somebody really wants him and make a nice offer, I will ship his ass out the door before you can count to 3. And then the backup, Greg Patterson. I don't know. Sounds like an accountant. Okay, so clearly there are some holes on this team, especially the small forward spot. We're going to have a couple trades before year one kicks off. Nothing major because clearly we're not competing. And I also want to check, do we have our draft picks? I hope we do. We do. We have our first round pick. We also have the Miami Heat first round pick. Not that it's going to be valuable because, you know, the big three, it's their first year technically, you understand. But it's still a first round draft pick. And it really doesn't look like we're missing. I can't fucking speak. Much else. Let's find some trades. I promise you I will stop trading for Jamario Moon after this video, but when a trade comes up that's pretty much perfect for exactly what we're looking for, I kind of have to take it. So Marcus Banks, Tiny Scott, an all-time fucking name. I'm actually kind of sad that I'm trading him. And our 2012 second round pick are going to Cleveland for Ryan Hollins and Jamario Moon. Ryan Hollins is going to be, I guess, a serviceable enough backup center behind Bargnani. Now, clearly, I think we had like a 67 overall behind him right now. So clearly this is an upgrade. It is only on a 1-year deal. It's also 26. Some of the all-time clips when I think about Ryan Hollins at like ESPN when he was like an analyst or whatever the hell he was for a couple years, they're so funny looking back. And the craziest part, if you go back and watch some of those, is he'd get flamed. He'd get absolutely flamed for some of his takes. But if you watch them, They're not all wrong. A lot of them were, but not all of them. Just saying, go back and watch. And then Jamario Moon, who's a guy, again, I do get a decent amount. I promise you I'll stop after this, but perfect trade one. I have a feeling that Phoenix is only making this trade so we will eat the contract of Hedo Turkoglu, but oops, I just hit a button. But clearly it's going to go ahead and not be that hard to move on from him eventually. Maybe he's a salary filler, and clearly he's an upgrade at our small forward spot. And we're trading away two people that aren't even real. So welcome to the team, Hedo Turkoglu. I think was actually a Toronto Raptors. Oh, wait, doesn't Hedo... Isn't he hated by the Raptors fan base? Am I making that up? I don't know if I have any Raptors fans watching this video. Do you guys hate Hedo Turkoglu? I feel like you might. I don't know. But he is here, and oh wait, he just came off a season of being here. I don't know. I have no idea, but he's back here, I guess, and he's going to likely be my starting small forward. We are ready to start our first season here in Toronto. I have a feeling we're not going to be very good. I think you all probably share that feeling, and ultimately it's a challenge that I am looking forward to because I think this team can be very interesting. And I think we could be fun next season, but let's get through year one first. Jose Calderon, DeMar DeRozan in the backcourt. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan maybe at this time was a perfectly fine NBA shooting guard. Today, he's actually listed, I think, sometimes as a power forward more than he is a shooting guard because he's obviously not a tremendous shooter. But DeMar DeRozan's still going to be here for the long term, whether I play him at the 2, the 3, likely not the 4. But he's going to be here. Hedo Turkoglu, who actually came back in a trade we just made. I still have that kind of gut feeling that I thought I heard somewhere that maybe Raptors fans hate Hedo Turkoglu. I don't think nearly as much as they maybe hate Goran Dragic, but I don't think they like Hedo. Reggie Evans, I'm actually going to start him at the power forward spot. The game is going ahead and suggesting I start Julian Wright. There's really not much difference. I mean, there's 2 overalls, and sure, Julian Wright is significantly younger, but they are both expiring contracts, and my thought process on this is kind of an asshole move, but if I play Julian Wright less, because they're both free agents this offseason, if I play Julian Wright less, maybe his numbers are worse, meaning he'll ask for less in free agency. Just kind of a big picture thing. And then the center spot, obviously, Andre Bargnani. Jarrett Jack, Leandro Barbosa are going to be the first 2 guys off the bench for me. As I mentioned, Julian Wright will be getting not significant, but minutes. Ryan Hollins, who we just added as our backup center, and then our old friend Jamario Moon, who feels like he's a staple of all these videos at this point. But yeah, we're not going to be good. I think that's a safe bet, and I'm really looking forward to this first offseason. So let's get through year 1 first. See you guys at the end of it. My gut reaction was right. We won only 18 games this year. I'm sure it was excruciatingly painful, and we were very much looking forward to this first offseason, but it is over. And we were very happy about that. Russell Westbrook, MVP. Obviously, Russ did go on to win an MVP, but it wasn't in his age 22 season. Those are insane numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if he won Most Improved as well. John Wall is your Rookie of the Year. Manu Ginobili, 6th Man of the Year. Dwight Howard is your depoy. Russ. I tell you guys, I know this fucking game. Scott Brooks, 64-18 there in Oklahoma City. Yeah, that's going to be good enough for a Coach of the Year. Okay, let's check it out. How bad were we? I know we won only 18 games, but seeding-wise, dead last. And second worst record in the league. Who do the Kings have that they suck this bad? Yeah, well, I mean, you got Tyreek Evans, DeMarcus Cousins. Almost kind of similar to us if you really kind of think about it, at least like overall-wise. Maybe not talent-wise. I think they're maybe a little bit better, but that's neither here nor there. Here are the numbers. Andrea Bargnani absolutely balled out for us. Career year. I mean, that's absolutely insane to see. I didn't think Andrea Bargnani would ever be this good, but he was. DeMar DeRozan, Leandro Barbosa, Calderon, Turkoglu, Jarrett Jack, Wright, Evans, Moon, and Hollins. Rebound a game is going to be Evans. Wow, nearly 14 boards a game. God damn. Okay. And then it says Jose Calderon, almost 10 assists a game, right? A 9.5. I will take it. Beautiful. All right, let's sim through the playoffs. Maybe Thunder and Heat finals. I don't know. Just a guess. Bulls and Mavericks. And the Bulls actually going to win it all. This was the year in real life that the Dallas Mavericks won it all. But Derrick Rose getting that championship, getting that finals MVP. Would have been cool to see, man. Injuries suck. They really do. Okay, so in terms of retirements, I just want to check and make sure, is there any Raptors here? There is not. Staff retirements, Don Nelson, Paul Westphal. Jersey retirements, Grant Hill. Historic changes, nothing here with us, and saw the luxury tax, clearly. Draft lottery. This is a very big and important moment for us. So at this time, like the lottery odds rules hadn't been updated, so clearly number 1, or worst team, if you will, had the best chance of getting the number 1 overall pick, meaning we have the second highest chance of doing so and the highest chance of getting the second overall pick. And we fall to 3. I don't know how many times in these videos I can fall down. I never shoot up. Jesus. Okay, staff signing. Jay Triano is here. You could put me out there. I'd have the same ratings. Maybe even better. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Okay, goodbye. There's just not a fucking chance in hell. I'm not even going to make an offer to Popovich for a couple of reasons. One, he has 6 other offers. It's so hard to sign a guy like Greg Popovich in these rebuilds. I'm sure you all know that. It's not even literally worth my time. Is this Mike Malone? It is Mike Malone. I'd take a flyer on Mike. Are you going to block me? It's probably going to say blocked, which I'm assuming it probably will. So this could be a style for rebuild. I don't want to, but I can't go out and hire an idiot at head coach. It's not a smart idea. Underwood would probably be kind of a last resort just because those ratings quite aren't there. Mike D'Antoni is here. He's not a horrible head coach. Not my favorite, but he definitely could be worse. I just want to see like the options like listed as head coach. So Stauffer, Popovich, Underwood, D'Antoni, Mike Smith, Tom Janovich, Towns, Doug Collins, Lucas. All right, Frank Vogel is here. I mean, the ratings really aren't there. So, you know what? Is that Scott Skiles? I'm just going to throw my last offer at Underwood. Again, not my number one option, but he definitely probably should accept. So Mike Malone is blocked. Go fuck yourself. Meaning we're just going to get Stauffer. I'm sorry to drag out this process, and I know I get him a decent amount. But when it's literally impossible to sign real actual head coaches, it's kind of what I have to do. 3rd overall pick, 28th overall pick. Definitely 2 really nice options. I think I'll probably end up using both. And just literally off the fact that I have to improve this bench, I think 28, drafting somebody there, probably worth it. So in terms of number 3, I mean, I'm assuming Kawhi Leonard probably goes number 1. Kyrie Irving probably goes number 2. So I'm a little like tempted, if you will, to trade up to get literally either one of those guys. Like if we had landed in the top 2 like we probably should have, I would have it. But the Nets now own number 2. I might try to move up a little bit. I'll actually just stick with you guys. It's probably not going to take that long. So Nets, let's just see what we have. Where the hell? Okay, thank you. And number 3 overall. Like, what do you want? There's like 2014 unprotected first. This is the 2011 draft. That's long way down the line. Glenn Harden. I feel like there has to be a better way to do this. You want Jamario Moon? How did that change? That got worse. Okay, there's got to be some random players down here like Greg Patterson. You're not getting my first round. I don't want Chris Kardashian on my team. I'm good. And then how about just a couple second-round picks? Can we shake hands, call it a deal? It's not going to change my fucking mind here. Come on. You're the Nets. Let's do this. God damn it. I don't think I have any players left here. Oh, well, I do. I have Roberts. Not interested. Okay. They want a first in 2015. They'll give me Anthony Morrow. Honestly, not the worst thing in the world. It's 2015. It's years away, and we move up and get one of Kyrie Irving or Kawhi Leonard. So that's worth it to me. Who goes number 1? It's always Kawhi. I'm just going to assume it probably is him. It is. He's a Sacramento King, so now they have Tyreek Evans, DeMarcus Cousins, and Kawhi Leonard. But it means we get Kyrie Irving. Kyrie's a guy I have drafted before, but I don't draft him a ton, so I'm perfectly fine taking him. Calderon was fantastic. I kind of opened the video saying wasn't really a long-term option. Okay, I'm looking to draft like a real player, somebody who's real. First 2 I see is Marcus Morris and Chandler Parsons. Isaiah Thomas is here. Davis Bertans is here. I mean, there are definitely options. Really, besides, a couple years... Oh, Corey Joseph here. There's no superstars here, except for, those couple years in Boston with Isaiah Thomas. But he's never going to develop into that in this video. Marcus Morris is a position of need. You can say the same thing about Chandler Parsons. Again, I've drafted Morris before, so maybe I lean Parsons, who could also maybe play a little backup 4 if I had to. I don't know. I think Chandler Parsons got away with an all-time, heist in that contract he got. But I'll still take a flyer on him. Actually was a pretty good NBA player for a while. I know Morris is still in the league and is still decent, but I'm going Parsons. I've drafted him before. Parsons, welcome to the team. Okay, and Kyrie. No, did not mean to do that. Team player options. DeRozan, yes. Barbosa accepts. Hollins accepts. Trey Warwick is somebody I'm probably not going to bring back. If he was a real person, I would consider it just because, again, I can kind of talk myself into that. Maybe I include him in a trade. If it was like 1.7 million, maybe I do, but 2 is kind of stretching it for a guy who's never going to even see the floor. Julian Wright does have a qualifying offer. We were a little bit selfish with his minutes intentionally this offseason, but now we are looking to turn a corner and hopefully go out and get ourselves a star free agent. Guy like Carmelo Anthony. Would he have any interest in coming here? He has 4 offers that he's all very interested in. The Phoenix Suns, actually, his number 1. I think first and foremost, we're probably going to work on some sort of trade. Not sure exactly what it's going to be, but I definitely need an upgrade. We're going to try to work on a trade here with the Utah Jazz and see if they'd be willing to trade us Paul Millsap. He'd clearly come in and be a huge upgrade to my starting power forward spot. And after that, I do have a plan of what we're going to do with the rest of the starting 5. So Jarrett Jack's really no longer needed here. Calderon had an amazing year for us last year. We just went ahead and drafted Kyrie Irving, meaning he's expendable. Anthony Morrow, we got in some trade. It was the trade to move up in the draft with New Jersey. But yeah, I'd like to add Paul Millsap to this team. So I don't really want to give up a lot of draft picks. Unfortunately, I'm thinking I might have to. And for those of you asking, yes, I've already tried to include Hito Turkoglu. I've done it without Morrow too. The money doesn't work. So I want to keep my first next year because I do think it's going to be valuable. There's always the off chance we suck for some reason. So I would be willing to go with my 2013 unprotected first. And I'd like to get it done with just seconds, but I unfortunately don't know if it's going to be possible. It doesn't look like it. All right, this would be it. Okay. It's a lot. It's a hefty price to pay, but not only do we get a really good, relatively young player in Paul Millsap, he's also cheap, which is exactly what I was looking for a very specific reason. Now I need to get rid of Hito Turkoglu's contract. Maybe I can get a draft pick in return. I think this would be very beneficial for us if it is actually a possibility. Somebody, please. Oh my God, you are dumb as shit. Thank you very much, Sacramento. Meaning, I have a couple different options here. This team is coming together quite nicely, I might add. Let's just see the options here. So somebody like Wilson Chandler, Mike Dunleavy, they're okay options. They don't really get me too excited. But somebody like J.R. Smith gets me slightly more excited. He's 25 years old, has no significant contract offers, and he would come in and he'd basically be like a day one starter, a huge upgrade for us. I'd really love to have him. Honestly, Reggie Evans was like insane rebounding for us. Other than that, not a huge loss. Julian Wright, I do have to renounce both their rights. So it's a starter for bench guys. I'm taking it 10 times out of 10. So J.R. Smith, welcome to the team. You might be asking, well, you already have a shooting guard. I opened the video talking about this. You just moved DeMar up to the 3, and it works out very, very beautifully. So we're building something here that is going to be hopefully good maybe in 2 years. I don't think we're going to be contending here in next year in year 2, but we are definitely well on our way. We're good here at the shooting guard spot. I'm going to actually play Chandler Parsons. I do need to find myself a backup power forward, maybe an upgrade over Hollins, but not the end of the world. So let's just see the backup. Ooh, Jared Dudley's only 26. The center options aren't great, but Jared Dudley actually could be decent because he can shoot the ball as well, which is almost like a little ahead of his time at this point because we're only still in 2011. But I think that's a significant move. I'm really excited about that. So, I mean, I doubt I can get a better backup center. Oh, it's actually going to let me bring Reggie Evans back. Okay, well, when 2K wants to be a little dumb, I'm always going to take advantage of that. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and pay Reggie Evans. And then I'm going to include him in a deal with Hollins, and continue to trade and hopefully get a better backup center. Let's just do that. So Evans, Hollins, let's see. Center, anybody? Ooh. I like Kyle Korver a lot. I do. Udonis Haslem, not really needed. Trevor Ariza, I might do this because, one, Trevor Ariza, I think, gives us a little bit more versatility at that position at the backup 2 than we do have with Leandro Barbosa. And Ariza is younger, and he's on a multi-year contract, and we get a draft pick. I'm very tempted to do that, unless there's like a center here that like Ben Wallace, if he wasn't 85 years old, I'd probably take him. Darko, I don't need him. Let's go ahead and make this trade here with the New Orleans Hornets. Picking up Trevor Ariza in a draft pick, meaning we still might not have an elite backup center, but honestly, Barbosa is an expiring guy. There's a 1 overall difference. I don't have any seconds. I think this is a good move for us in the long run. So let's see. I need a center. Please, somebody. Ooh. DJ's here. I've traded for DeAndre Jordan before. Ultimately, I don't think it makes a lot of sense there. Not only because I have to give up Parsons, but because he's going to go ahead. It probably requires starting minutes. And I don't mean require like absolutely has to. Clearly, I don't have to. I might take Yao Ming. But we're going to stunt development, and I just don't think it makes a lot of sense because we have a capable starting center who was actually our best player last year. So I know Yao Ming is probably well on his way out right now. I'm still going to take him. He's probably going to regress a few, but I think this deal makes a lot of sense. So welcome to Toronto, Yao Ming. 7'6"? Yep, 7'6" Yao Ming. All right, man. I will see you guys at the start of year 2 here in Toronto. After a pretty exciting offseason with a lot of moving pieces, we are finally ready to go here in year 2. Kyrie Irving, we went ahead and drafted 2nd overall. Going to be a franchise piece for us. Very excited to see him in his rookie campaign. We went ahead and signed J.R. Smith. I think it's a beautiful signing and provides some shooting next to a guy like DeMar DeRozan. Ultimately, J.R. Smith, I like him a lot. I really do. DeMar moves from the 2 to the 3, made a little bit more sense. We brought in Paul Millsap, and then Bargnani's still going strong here at our center spot. The bench is really goddamn good. Jose Calderon going to be my 6th man. Had a fantastic year last year for us, but unfortunately, Kyrie Irving's always going to get the starting nod over him, which makes a lot more sense. Jared Dudley, good free agent signing. Yao Ming obviously came over in a trade. Trevor Ariza is here from a trade. And then we went ahead and drafted Chandler Parsons. So I think this team can make a little bit of a run. I'm not saying we're going to be a top 4 seed or anything, but we're definitely going to be better than we were last year. I will see you guys at the end of year 2. I don't want to say it was a fully disappointing second season here in Toronto, but I'm a little, I don't know the word for it. I'm a little upset, I guess. We went 38-44, which is clearly an improvement from the 18 wins we had last season, but it felt like this team could have done more. And maybe there's just too young and whatever the situation may be, but I think there's still some work to do. Derrick Rose, coming off a Finals MVP, wins the MVP award this season. What? Who? Why? Steven Jackson, 6th man of the year. Dwight Howard is your deep boy. Ben Uzo. I don't know why I saw it. My first thought was Beno Udro, but that is clearly a different player. And yeah, most improved. Are you a real person? I don't know. Scott Brooks, 2nd year in a row, coach of the year. 66 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, let's check the numbers, see how everything kind of went for us. I mean, everything kind of evened out a little bit. Bargnani was still our leading scorer. Decent rookie season out of Kyrie Irving, DeMar DeRozan, J.R. Smith, Paul Millsap, Yao Ming actually off the bench was pretty good for us. So there are going to have to be some decisions with this overall roster made this offseason. I mean, again, it's not like this is a championship team right now. We are out of the playoffs. We are the 10 seed. This is kind of exactly why I kept my draft pick this year, because I didn't want to say I had a suspicion that this was a possibility, but I just wanted to kind of give us an insurance policy. And unlike most insurance policies, this one actually kind of paid off. So let's sim the playoffs because we are clearly not in them. Hopefully, I don't know, give me some entertaining matchup. It's going to be a Bulls and Thunder finals. Oh my God, did the Thunder just blow a 3-1 lead? I think they did. Wow, that is insane. Past 2 years, Derrick Rose, 2 finals MVPs and a regular season MVP. That's insane. Okay, Shaq calls it a career. As long as I don't... Oh, Brian Cardinal was somehow here. Okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting Hall of Fame class. I mean, Steve Nash, Shaq obviously going to be in it. Big Z is there as well. Probably not a Hall of Famer. Mike Smith, all-time interesting and I guess I should say boring name. Owen Masters is here. Mike Smith, such a boring fucking name. It really is. Shaq, Steve Nash, kind of as I projected. Also get their jerseys, retirement, historic changes. Cool, and let's hit the draft lottery. I mean, again, I never really get lucky in any of these. If we can somehow jump up from 13, maybe it would be nice, but I doubt we do. And we sit right there at number 13. Okay, the coach clearly is not the problem. Literally, statistically, cannot get better, so he will clearly stay, even if we were a little bit disappointing. And now we have a decision. What do we want to do with the 13th overall pick? We have 3 draft picks that we were able to trade this offseason, maybe even 4 if we move this one. So a couple different directions we could go, and I have to choose that now. We are making a big trade right now, and it is going to come with the 2-time defending champion Chicago Bulls, and it is definitely a blockbuster. Andrea Bargnani, Yao Ming, the 13th overall pick, and Trevor Ariza are going to Chicago for Luol Deng and Joakim Noah. Now, I know maybe on paper this trade doesn't make the most sense in the world, but let me just give you kind of my thoughts on why I am doing this. So Andrea Bargnani has been good for us. He's been our leading scorer the past 2 seasons, but ultimately he is not and has never been a guy that really moves the needle for me. I don't want to say he's putting up empty stats, but it almost feels like that is kind of the case. I'm moving on from him. Tough decision. Kind of. Yao Ming is just unfortunately going to regress. I know how Yao Ming's progression and regression goes. It's been the same thing for years of 2K. He'll probably be like a 77, maybe even 76 overall at the start of next year. 13th overall pick, including in the trade for obvious reasons. Then I didn't actually put Ariza in here. This was a tough one for me. I like Trevor Ariza a lot. I talked about the versatility he can bring to a team, and I really, truly do believe that. But ultimately, in order to get a guy, actually 2 guys that are going to be starting for us, I'm always going to do it. So Luol Deng is here. Joakim Noah is now going to be, in my opinion, an upgrade at our starting center spot, and I'm very excited about that. So really what this deal does is it helps bolster our bench in a weird way, because DeRozan actually goes down 2 overalls moving back. That's J.R. Smith. If you move him back to shooting guard, but DeRozan is still going to start. I know the shooting maybe really isn't there, but if I have to pick between him and J.R. Smith, I'd much rather have DeMar DeRozan. It really just means that JR is going to come off the bench, kind of hurting us a little bit less in the fact that we are going to go ahead, or did go ahead, I guess, and give up Trevor Ariza. So let's skip over the draft now, because clearly there's nothing left to do there. Team player options, DeRozan clearly going to come back. We look at qualifying, really nobody here that I give a shit about. And then we enter a really talented free agency class. This is definitely something I always have to consider in these rebuilds, is this, do I want to save my money for an extremely talented free agency class in the final offseason of these rebuilds? And I have done it before. The only problem is it tends to be really risky for obvious reasons, because if you don't spend money in the first year, you typically suck in the second year, meaning the third and final season is all you're really kind of banking on. And I guess grand picture, you can say that we're doing the same exact fucking thing right now, but at least we've built something up, and ultimately it's a fun free agency class, and maybe I'll use it more often in future rebuilds. But we're good at the point guard spot, we're good at shooting guard, small forward, may consider an upgrade behind Luol Deng for Chandler Parsons, good at power forward, and then I do need to find myself a backup center. So just curious, who are the centers here? Guy like Chris Kamen's only 30 years old. Not a bad option whatsoever. Marcus Camby was obviously fantastic at one point in time, but he's 38 years old, and there's no way he's going to be getting any better. So I'd give an offer to Chris Kaman, and he's actually going to go ahead and accept it. So welcome to the team, Chris Kaman. Now, I don't know necessarily what I could include in a deal in order to maybe go ahead and trade for an upgrade to the backup small forward spot. I know nobody really likes it when I do this, but it's kind of the only way to get any sort of salary that's going to make any sense here. So Steve Novak, who I know just signed all that bullshit. I'm just looking for an upgrade. I could just go ahead and get Morris, who maybe I should have just drafted originally. It'd probably make more sense. I was trying to mix it up. Kwame Brown. I think we're actually like a day or maybe 2 days removed from Stephen A. Smith's like legendary rant about Kwame Brown. Craig Smith is here. Actually not a bad option. Now, we have to kind of look in the mirror and accept what this is going to be. This is a guy probably getting 10 minutes a night. So it's really not the end of the world if he's not that good. Craig Smith actually had a pretty good year last year. So you know what? Why the hell not? Can he not shoot the three ball at all? He really cannot. That's fine. Welcome to the team, Craig Smith. We already have J.R. Smith coming off the bench for shooting purposes. Okay, this is going to be it heading into the final year. I think championship guys like Luol Deng, like Joakim Noah, who, although maybe aren't championship guys in real life, they are clearly here in the game. I think it's going to help us better in the long run. So, well, long run, final year, really. But I'm excited. I really am. I'll see you guys at the start of the final regular season. As we head into the final regular season of this rebuild, I'm not going to lie to you. I am definitely a little bit nervous. There are some decisions that we made that, although I am comfortable with, we really have to hope pay off, because we just went ahead and traded away the player that led us in scoring for the first 2 seasons of this rebuild in Andrea Bargnani. Now, I'm not changing what I think about him, because ultimately I'm going to take Joakim Noah and his defense pretty much 10 times out of 10, especially with guys like Kyrie, DeMar DeRozan, Millsap that can score the basketball at a good level. But it's big. It's interesting. I am nervous. I am not going to lie to you. Funny enough, the minutes might not show it, but if I hit auto fresh in this rotation, which I'm not going to do because I just spent time setting it the way I wanted it, the game actually wants J.R. Smith to start over DeMar DeRozan. Interesting decision. I think if our point guard maybe couldn't shoot like Kyrie Irving can, I'd maybe lean a little bit more to starting J.R. Smith, but the overall wise, potential-wise, I think DeMar DeRozan clearly ended up being a better player. I'm going with him. So him and Kyrie in the backcourt, new addition here in Luol Deng. 2-time defending champion, 22 points a game. God damn, Luol. I guess I forgot to leave him on the list of players that can score the basketball. Paul Millsap and then Joakim Noah as our starting center. The bench, I actually say got better. I think I would argue that. J.R. Smith moves to the bench unit, going to be our 6th man here. Chris Kaman, new signing behind him. Jose Calderon, still a really steady option at that backup point guard spot. Jared Dudley still here. And then Craig Smith, newly acquired via trade. So, yeah, this is it. This is going to be the team for a hopeful championship run. I am nervous, even though we did just take away 2 key players from the Chicago Bulls, about how this team is going to kind of react. Clearly, we haven't even seen LeBron and the Miami Heat win anything yet. They haven't even been to the finals. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're probably due, but I think we're due as well. I know this has been long as shit. I will see you guys at the end of the final regular season. I want to be cautious about how I approach what I'm about to say, because we had by far our best season yet. It was absolutely fantastic, but in some ways, I think we might have overachieved, and I don't want to get my hopes up too high, even though they kind of have to be. 68-14 was our record. I was just as surprised as you were. I don't pay attention to it when it sims. I just aimlessly scroll through Twitter. And yeah, I mean, that's absolutely great. But are we too high? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I hope it works out, but I am a little bit kind of cautious right now. I'll say that. John Wall is your MVP. Surprise. John Wall never won an MVP in real life, even though he was absolutely fan. What the fuck? Jesus. Celtics legend Jared Sullinger. Anthony Davis, 6. What? Huh? Who's the power forward in Sacramento that is like him and Boogie? I mean, I guess I can't say would be because they were until Boogie got hurt. But yeah, that's insane. That would have been an insane front court. Dwight Howard is in Utah. Okay. Kyrie Irving, most improved. This is exactly the kind of jump I was looking for out of Kyrie Irving. I'm very glad that it did happen now. And Stauffer wins Coach of the Year, because 68 wins is clearly Coach of the Year, qualified. But like, I don't know. I don't think this is a 68 win team. That's really the kind of the point I'm trying to get across right now, because I think this team can make a run, and I think we are extremely talented. I like the way these guys fit better. I think they fit better together than what we had last year. That's what I'm trying to say. But I still don't know if we're there, and that's again on me. But I think I don't really know how else to describe it. And we have the Bulls here in round 1 with the 2-time defending Finals MVP Derrick Rose, our old friend Trevor Ariza, Dana Goodwillie, Carlos Boozer, our old friend Andrea Bargnani. You got Kyle Korver, Yao Ming. Oh, wow, Yao Ming actually didn't regress. That's my fault. I totally was talking out of my ass, I guess. I thought Yao Ming was going to regress. He did not. We still beat their asses anyways. Atlanta here in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Jeff Teague, who if you have ever seen any of the clips, I don't know the name of the podcast, but Jeff Teague's on it. He's so fucking funny. Please go find it. ISO Joe is here. Josh Smith, Al Horford. You got Kendrick Perkins. You got current Celtic and former Celtic, who really shouldn't qualify as a former Celtic. All he does is shit on them. He should give his 2008 ring back. Okay, let's go ahead and sim through that. We've yet to lose a playoff game. Sometimes runs like this happen, and I'm not going to call it a Cinderella run, but I still stand by 68 wins as an overachievement. But we're not there yet. MVP John Wall, Nick Young, Trevor Booker, Andre Blatt. You got JaVale McGee. There's just no fucking way this team's touching us. Yet to lose a playoff game. We are here in the finals with 3 MVPs. Zach Randolph somehow ended up here, and you have Serge Ibaka, who's just a tremendously underrated center at this time. Jeff Green, TJ Ford. I think Ibaka actually played more of the 4 and Oklahoma City, I think. Okay, can we beat the Thunder? Still yet to lose a playoff game. Okay, I opened my big fat fucking mouth. Back to Toronto here for a closeout Game 5. Can we send the Thunder packing? The Thunder and their 3 MVPs packing, I should say. I don't know, man. We're going to look like we have a close one kind of going back and forth. Oh, no, that kind of came back. Alrighty, 7 points. I'll see you guys in there. Now, I don't want to say this one is over, but I will say, I guess all my talk to kind of kick off this playoff run are really just the end of the regular season about being cautious and saying we overachieved. I might have been wrong. Maybe Luol Deng and Joakim Noah were literally just the perfect pieces that this team was missing. I'm not saying that lightly like they were some bench warmer, because clearly they're both starting and were both significant contributors to this team, but I don't know. It's just like Kyrie Irving is too young to be considered a serious superstar at this point. Same with DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, I think for a couple years was in superstar territory. I don't think he was ever like MVP superstar level, or really, I don't know. I just like, it doesn't feel like this team has that like really number one like championship caliber superstar. But I guess Kyrie Irving rewrote the history book and proved that he was that, because he's the number one guy on this team right now, at least in points per game. I think he's a couple lower overalls, but I don't know. I guess everything fit well together. Obviously have a tremendous head coach, and oh my God, Paul Millsap. I'm happy with the way this has gone. So, I mean, this one, again, not completely over. It is a 9-point game now with about 145 left to go. So I have to be somewhat careful, but I think one more bucket and one more stop is probably all I need. So Russell Westbrook just getting into the lane, and he's getting an easy layup. Way to control the body there, Russ. Okay, let's do this. We score one basket. It's pretty much over. I want to use J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith's the guy I like getting these rebuilds. I haven't got him in a minute. I know I'm a screen merchant. I'm just... J.R.? Oh my God. Okay. I think we're probably good. I'll see you guys at the Finals MVP. I am so happy that I was wrong about this team. What a fantastic way to end this video. We close out the 60 whatever win Thunder, 3 MVPs in 5 games. Kyrie Irving averages 27 and 7 over a 5-game span, and is your Finals MVP. All right, what a way to wrap this one up. I knew it was going to be a challenge going into it, and I'm very happy about the way we kind of approached this one. I think we had a really good mix of good drafting, good free agent signings, and good trades. Always fun when a rebuild kind of shakes out like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed this one. It is always a blast doing these historic rebuilds, going back to kind of my childhood, because again, I'm only 24 years old, so I'm not that old. But yeah, this one was an absolute blast. I hope you guys really did enjoy it. Of course, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. Historic, challenges, new series ideas, whatever it may be. I want to hear from you guys down below. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. That is it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.